Hello guys, it's me Dino96 back here for another video, and today we'll be making a round 24 predictions on the 2024 AFL season. So we have finally made it, but before we get started, let's have a look at our round 23 tips. And overall, not too bad. There was some hard tips that we didn't get, but yeah, we got 5 out of 9 correct. And yeah, not too bad of a week. Starting with this one, I mean this one was pretty simple, with Sydney getting the win, and down here we can see Gold Coast lose, the Giants get the win, and then down here is very interesting because Brisbane lose, Geelong lose, and Port get that win. And then finally, if we look down here, you can see the Bulldogs, I mean easy win, Hawthorn easy win, and I thought West Coast could get it done, but they were nowhere close. So yeah, wowee, this season has gone quick, but we are really close from getting there. And as you can see, the predicted margins versus actual and some mixed results. Yeah, not much to talk about here as we are heading towards the last round of the home and away season. So yeah, let's get straight into round 24. And so the long awaited round 24 has arrived. This video will be coming out late, so apologies for that. But yeah, this is gonna be a massive round, and really will shape up finally the 8th, which we haven't had in quite a few amount of weeks. But yeah, starting with this first game, and yeah, it's between Melbourne and Collingwood, playing at the MCG on the Friday night. And this one, well, yeah, this one's a dead rubber. I mean, who would be saying that, especially at the start of the season? You wouldn't have said that. You would have thought both these teams would be maybe top 4, but they are out of it. And Collingwood can mathematically get there, but it's unlikely. It's not happening. We saw Melbourne get a great win last week. I didn't think that they were going to win, but they got it pretty good against the Gold Coast. Whereas Collingwood clutched it up and won by a single point at the G. I mean, of course they would. And they were thinking that they were finals chance until Carlton won. So yeah, they had that day of celebration, but it all didn't count. But I guess this will be a good game to finish off the seasons for them. It's going to be at the G. I don't know if it's going to be full house or not, but yeah, I mean, I just want to see them play a good game at the G. I mean, if these two teams can do it, yeah, that would be good. There's not too much at stake here. I guess they are probably going to move on and focus towards the next year. And yeah, that will fare well. Both of these teams, which after everyone thought they were going to make finals this year, they won't be this year. But as for this game, this one's an interesting tip. I could see both ways, but just with the way Melbourne have been in the past few weeks, I know they got a great win last week. But I think Collingwood will get it done in front of their fans, just to farewell their season once and for all. And yeah, I think they'll get the win in the last round of the season. And yeah, I'm predicting the margin to be 25 points, and I'm rating this game an 81. Now as we look down here, and this is probably the least of interesting of games. I mean, quite expected since it is the last round, but yeah, it is between Geelong versus West Coast, playing at James HBA Stadium. And yeah, I think we know who's going to be the winner in this one. I mean, the Cats did lose against the Saints. I didn't think they would lose, but yeah, it really surprised me to see that they were definitely up by a big margin, and yeah, they choked, I guess. But if they do get this win, then they will lock in that top 4 spot, which, I mean, it surely has been locked in already. And as for West Coast, I thought they'd do better. I mean, they had the chances though, versing the VFL side, but yeah, even then they couldn't get it done. And Carlton, yeah, just keeping themselves alive. So yeah, it was a hard game for the Eagles. And this one is not going to be any easier. This is probably the hardest game of the year. This is probably the hardest game of the year, and it had to come at the end of the year. I mean, yeah, we all know that Geelong's not going to give up on this game. And yeah, this is probably, honestly, this is probably the least most interesting game of the year. So yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't think West Coast can finish bottom, but they will finish 16th. It's a lock. So I guess all they can do is just focus on next year and begin a rebuild. whereas Geelong can secure the top 4 spot, and that is where my tip is going to go. And this will be my biggest tip. I haven't done a bigger tipper than this, but yeah, I'm predicting the margin to be 92 points in Geelong's favour, and I'm rating this game at 51. And as we look down here, and I guess similar story here for this game. Yeah, not much here to say. It's between Richmond and Gold Coast, playing at the MCG for the last games between these two. Let's start with Gold Coast, and yeah, I thought they would get the win last week, but yeah, they didn't. And yeah, it was probably one of the disappointing performances in the year. And as for Richmond, I mean, what is going on down there? Everyone's retiring. Yeah, everyone's gone. But they can put this hellish season to an end once and for all. And yeah, they will just probably finish 18th, and I guess look forward to the draft, where they'll probably be getting lots of picks and just start a new rebuild and a new era for Richmond. I mean, it was going to come eventually, but yeah, it has come right now, and things are changing, and they're changing quick at Richmond. As for this game, this is an interesting dilemma because, I mean, Gold Coast have not had a great record away from home, and well, they lost against North early in the year, but can they lose against Richmond? I mean, I could definitely see it. I could definitely see Richmond getting over the line against the Suns, but yeah, this one's just interesting. As I said for the game above, I love for this game to be interesting at least. You know, some close contest, just to show it off one last time. But yeah, as for this game, it's pretty straightforward, I guess. But I think this will be, yeah, unexpected, I guess. If Richmond win, they win. But I think most people will be tipping the Suns, and for a reason, Richmond have not had a good year. So, I mean, surely the Suns can get this win, and that is where my tip is going to go. I am rating this game at 53, and I'm predicting the margin 17. Now we look down once again, and another pretty big, yeah, no, I'm just kidding. It's not that big of a game, and yeah, it's between Hawthorn and North, playing in Tasmania, and this is, I guess, big for Hawthorn because they're sitting 7th. And they can't really boost their percentage, so I think the maximum they can finish is... Actually, no, they can't finish as high as 5th, I think. Well, actually 4th, but every result would need to go their way, which is unlikely. So they'll probably finish 6th or 7th in that case. But, yeah, I guess this is just a prep for finals. I mean, they're playing in Tasmania. They just have a great record at home. They just demolish every team that gets in their way. We saw what they did against Richmond, and I feel like something similar will happen against North. Yeah, North have not had a great year at all, as we know. They got smashed by almost 100 points, but yeah, it was not a good look. I guess we'll just see what they put out on Saturday, but yeah, not too many expectations. I mean, $10 odds, I mean, come on, they're not given any chance. And it's just like one of those games, like surely Hawthorn could not choke this game. There's just no way. That would be kind of hilarious if they choked to North and missed finals just because of this game. But as ridiculous as that sounds, that's just the reason why I'm going to tip Hawthorn, because, well, they just looked great. And honestly, whoever versus them in the finals, whether it's the, you know, elimination final or onwards, they're going to be scary, and you would not want to verse them. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what they pull off towards the finals, which they should make it. But yeah, I'm going to tip Hawthorn for this game to get the win in convincing fashion by 45 points. And I'm rating this game at 65. Now looking at the last two Saturday night games. There's 2 Saturday night games, and really it's just more like confirming spots here. But yeah, let's start with the first one. It's between Brisbane and Essendon, playing at the Gabba, and well, yeah, I guess this is a good one to watch. Well, Essendon, let's start with them. I mean, they just keep downfalling every season. I mean, come on, they were sitting like second at one stage and then just fell down. Like, that's crazy. They've done it twice in a row this year. I mean, as in the 2 seasons. But yeah, as for Brisbane, to see what they've become after the first few rounds this season has been incredible. But they did lose 2 of their games, which, yeah, I mean, rules out their top 4 spot, which is quite disappointing for them. They would like to have that double chance, but they're not going to get it. Unless Geelong lose, but I don't think that's happening. But yeah, they can lock in that 5th spot, which will guarantee them a home final against the team finishing 8th, which will either be Carlton or Fremantle. So that will be huge for them. And I mean, if it's Carlton that they're versing, it will be, you know, opening round revenge. But as for Essendon, yeah, Dyson Heppel is retiring and he's playing his last game, I'm pretty sure. So that will be good to watch. I mean, they should have let him play it last week, but yeah, I mean, Essendon's season will end. It's been a disappointing year, I would say, but another year where they don't play finals. And as for Brisbane, they should progress through and get this win. And yeah, this tipping week has been pretty simple, but yeah, this has been one-sided odds, but surely Brisbane can get the win by 40 points. And yeah, I'm rating this game as 72. Now, the last Saturday night game, it's between Sydney and Adelaide, playing at the SCG, and yeah, another game where it's just, you know, not much on the line. I mean, yeah. I mean, starting with Sydney, they got their win against Essendon, which locks in their top spot. I mean, yeah, mathematically, Port could technically get it if they win by 200 and Sydney lose by 200, but yeah, I don't think that's happening. Yeah, Sydney will lock in that home qualifying final, which is huge for them. I mean, it wasn't easy by the looks of it, but they got there eventually. And as for Adelaide, they've just been disappointing all year, as we know. I mean, that last week's game was definitely an example of that. They just couldn't handle the pressure. And yeah, we're definitely beaten. And I guess that's just like, yeah, it's been like that for all the year. And well, yeah, they're definitely not favourites to win this game. I mean, travelling to Sydney is no easy task, and they'll have a big challenge there. I don't know how they're going to approach this game, considering that it is the last game, but I guess they'll just give it all that they can. So yeah, I would love to see a close game for this one, but I kind of doubt it. But yeah, there's been lots of one-sided games this round. I mean, what is going on? But then again, it makes sense, and as we wait to Sunday, it's gonna get crazy. But yeah, this is, I guess, the last game where things don't really matter. So yeah, I guess that will be interesting to watch. Hopefully it's a good game, but yeah, you gotta tip Sydney for this one. There's just yeah, I just can't see Adelaide win this one. If they win it, then that would be kind of crazy, but yeah, surely Sydney get the win, get their perfect pre-finals bye and preparation. So yeah, I think Sydney will win by 36 points, and I'm rating this game at 74. Now look at the last 3 games on the Sunday, and this is absolutely huge. I mean, this Sunday could not be better set up, and we have a lot to talk about here. Starting with this first game, wowie, this is the game of the round for sure. It's between the Western Bulldogs and the GWS Giants, playing at Mars Stadium in Ballarat, and this is massive. Now, I'll talk about the implications just a second, but yeah, starting with both these teams, they did get their win last week, and the Giants have been on a winning streak here, so it's definitely going to be big on them. Now, if the Giants win and Port lose, then they will finish second. Otherwise, if they lose, then Port are more likely to finish second. Whereas as for the Bulldogs, if they win, then they can jump to as high as probably 5th or 6th. I mean, top 4 would seem really unlikely, but if they lose, they could still technically miss out finals. But yeah, it's a big game for them. This has 50-50 written all over, and yeah, this one, I mean, well, I'm just really excited for this one. It's going to be very nerve-wracking for both of these teams. And really, this is a final. Like, this is really just a final. And it's interesting that it's sort of played on a neutral venue. I know it's the Bulldogs' home ground, or one of their home grounds, but it really feels like a neutral game, this one. So both of these teams are in for a chance. And yeah, as for tipping this week, this one's tough. This one was really tough to think because I could see both teams easily winning this one, and I think this will be a really close game. In fact, I think this will be the closest that we've had. And yeah, this one was hard to tip. I had to think about it for a while, but yeah, this one, I think the Giants are definitely a big chance. The Bulldogs are a big chance, but I have to go for the Bulldogs here. I am going to tip the Bulldogs to get this win just because they will have their home crowd. I feel like it will help them on their way. But we saw what happened last year as well, and the Giants got it done. So really anything can happen. I think the Bulldogs will get over the line by a single point. And yeah, I have to rate this game a 95. It's going to be a massive game. Now look at the next game, and it's straight after the one above, and even this one is huge. Wow, this has 2022 written all over. It's between Carlton and St Kilda, playing at Marvel Stadium, and well, this is the big test for Carlton. Do they play finals or do they miss finals? Really, it's all about that. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say. We saw what happened in 2022 when Carlton were mostly in the 8th for the entire year, and then in the last round they fall down to 9th, and this could happen. And that's for the Saints. I mean, we shouldn't underestimate them. I mean, they just beat Geelong. They beat Geelong like by 18 points, and no one saw that coming. And really, they could do it again to Carlton. This is why this game is so hyped. I mean, really anything can happen this late this season, and yeah, this has been the most unpredictable season we've had, and who knows what can happen. It is a Carlton home game though, so they will have their crowd there, but it won't rule out the fact that it's also St Kilda home ground, so they will have their fans there as well. But yeah, St Kilda have nothing to play for other than ruining other teams, and I can see them doing that for this game. And although I think Carlton are definitely the favourites to win this game, in this must-win game, I'm going to tip the upset. Yep, you heard that right. I'm going to tip the upset here and tip the Saints to potentially end Carlton's season. I mean, who knows? Who knows what can happen? But as we can look in the next game, if Carlton do lose, then they will need Port to win. So yeah, it's all down the line here, but I'm going to tip the Saints to win by 7 points, and I'm rating this game a 94. Now, looking at the last game here, and this will just decide it. This will just decide everything that we need to know about the ladder, and it couldn't be any bigger. It's between Fremantle and Port Adelaide, playing at Optus Stadium right after the Carlton St Kilda game, and this is huge. Let's start talking about Fremantle here, and yeah, it's all on the line here. If they lose, they miss finals. If they win, and St Kilda win, then they are playing finals, and it will all rely on what happens in the game above. If Carlton win, then Fremantle have nothing to play for, but if Carlton lose, wowie, they are going to be in it. And in it they'll be in for a massive fight against Port Adelaide, who have their own reasons to play as well. See, if the Giants do win, then Port will have to win to get their second spot, and that will all sort of depend on percentage as well. So they would need to win depending on what happens here. If I tip the Bulldogs here, if the Bulldogs do win, then Port only need to rely on percentage. They don't necessarily need a win, but It's all about the percentage. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, this game this game is huge. They chose the right games for the Sunday, and honestly I kind of like that. It's pretty good, and after this game we can just relax and see what the ladder looks like and work our way from there. But I think for these circumstances in this tipping round, I am taking these other tips into account, and I would love to see I would love to see an upset here. Considering the Bulldogs, I tipped the Bulldogs to win, and considering the Saints I tipped to win, for this I'm gonna also tip Fremantle to get the win, which will put themselves into the final spot. The crowd will go crazy. It'll just be a crazy scenario, and there'll be lots of what ifs. So just to cause a stir, I am going to tip Fremantle to win this game in the last game of the home and away season. I am tipping them to win by 14 points, and I'm rating this game a 94. And just like that, that is my round 24 tips done and dusted. This is going to be the biggest round that we'll get. Not much happening on the Saturday, not much happening on the Friday, but the Sunday is all that we're going to look at. And yeah, I mean, good luck to all the teams, I guess, but the finals are almost coming, and that will be huge. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Bye bye.